Hello, my name is Troy, and today I'll be presenting to you Pushing for a 3-Day Weekend. Now, let me know if you've heard this one before. Man, I can't believe it's already Sunday. Or, man, the weekend just went by so fast. Well, what if this isn't just a thought we have, but there's actually something a little more to it? What if the work week is too long and the weekend just too short? And what if there's something we could do about it? So, what do I mean by that? Well, what I'm trying to convince you of is that American workers should be guaranteed a 3-day weekend by law. So, why do I think we want this? Well, I think a lot of people want this, but the main reasons why I think this would be beneficial is to provide a good work-life balance for people. Now, work-life balance, interesting phrase that really just doesn't make a lot of sense right now. Work-life balance, you think if you're working 5 days a week and you have 2 days off, well, that's really not much of a balance at all. I think if this was a scale, one side would definitely be weighted a lot further down than the other. So having a 4-day on, 3-day off style would definitely be a lot more balanced, but it would also provide a lot more time for people, especially people that don't have a lot of time to spend with their families. Another reason I think we'd want this would be better working conditions. Maybe not for everybody, but definitely for people in the retail or the hospitality business where maybe even a 2-day weekend seems like a pipe dream to them. So, who would be against something like this? Well, if someone was against it, I think the first thing they'd say is that less work would get done. And to that, I would say that there has been a study conducted by Microsoft in one of their offices where they tested a 4-day work week. And not only did they say that their staff was happier, they also said that there was a 40% boost in productivity. Now, saying less work will get done, working 20% less, they got 40% more work done. So, actually, more work is getting done with a 4-day work week. Another thing people would say is that, well, you'd make less money. And although this might be true, if you work less hours and you're getting paid hourly, you would make less money, but having a 4-day work week doesn't necessarily mean you have to work less hours. You could just work more hours per day. And also, referring back to the study, if you're doing 40% more work in that time, shouldn't your value that you're being paid per hour be more anyway? Just something to consider. The last thing is that people would say is, well, the only reason you'd want a 3-day weekend is because people just don't like to work. And so that I would have to refer to this chart here. And some people, you're right, maybe some people just don't want to work. And according to this study, 4% of people just do not want to work. But if you look at it, the majority of people do want to work, and most of them actually see a benefit in a 4-day work week as opposed to the traditional 5. So, what is the solution to this problem? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. If this had to get passed into law, there would need to be legislation, it would need to go through the government, and there would need to be a set in stone law that there's a guaranteed 3 consecutive days off for employees per week. So, where do I think this would get us? Well, I think people would have a lot more time to spend with their families, to pursue their goals, and to find things that they're really passionate about. I think these days a lot of people, they might be in a job that they really don't like, they're really not passionate about. But when you're spending most of your time working, 5 out of the 7 days working, well, how are you going to pursue something that you really want? And I think 4 days on, 3 days off will provide that kind of opportunity for people. So, what can you do? Well, although the legislation would be the end goal that we're seeking, I think to start out, what you really want to do is spread the word. Let people know if this is something that you want. Maybe it's something other people want as well. So, uh, my advice, my call to action would be go on social media and just let people know that this should be what we do. We should have 4 days of week working, 3 days for the weekend. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.